So imagine you finally made it out to Whistler. You've been waiting to get on this trip and have a great time, but the weather changes. You didn't bring the right gear. The gear you maybe had was for cold weather riding, but you left it at home because it was just too bulky. It was too much. I mean, this happened to you a few months ago. Tell us what happened. You went out to Whistler.
Yeah, I was out in Whistler and, we encountered rain, which I wasn't expecting because the weather was pretty warm, but I threw on a windbreaker and quickly found out that it just wasn't up to the task. I got soaked immediately. I started sweating. So it was just moisture coming from the outside, moisture on the inside. It was kind of a miserable time. And the people I was riding with, I asked them, are you guys immediately soaked? And they're like, no, we're completely dry. And I was like, well, I need to look into some cold weather gear.
So we decided to bring you a video all about some of the newer technology and riding gear to keep you dry, keep you warm, and just make sure you're having a good time no matter wherever you're riding. So stay tuned. What's up, everyone? I'm Mark.
I'm Alex.
And we're from Jenson, USA, rider owned and operated since 1994, to bring you this video all on cold weather riding and technology to keep you dry when you're out there. So Alex, why don't you introduce some of the products we're gonna go over and tell us like a little bit about them.
All right, so back here, we have the Fox Ranger jacket. And then we also have a thermal jersey. I think this is typically what you would run during cold weather. The jersey's gonna keep you warm, the jacket's gonna keep you dry. And this is typically what you're gonna run for most of your scenarios. This is technology that's been around for a long time, so.
Yeah, and this is your typical like waffle thermal. It's got that, nice breathability but warmth kind of thing. I think this is a great option for that multi-layer. Like if you're gonna be layering when you're riding, like this is the route you're gonna wanna go, right?
Yep, and this is fairly lightweight. It's not gonna be too hard to pack away if it does get warmer out. And this does still offer some breathability, but not quite as much as some of the other products we're gonna show in a bit.
Absolutely, so I mean, we got a couple products we're gonna go over, but I think importantly here, just to go over this kind of setup here, if you're looking for a multi-layer setup, is you want to be able to ride in different layers. So that way you can shed layers and move things around depending on your environment and the changes. Maybe as you're pedaling up, it's a nice rainy environment, you're just going to want to ride the rain shell. It's not going to give you 100% breathability, but it's going to keep you dry when you get to the top. And then knowing on that descent that it's going to be a lot colder, you might throw the thermal on underneath it, and if it's still rainy, you throw the raincoat over it, or maybe it's just chilled by the time you got up there. You don't have to worry about that. Like Alex said, you can pack this thing up in your hip bag. It'll probably even fold into its own pocket. You can just kind of hook it to your bike and just have a good time.
Yeah, and Ben just actually mentioned that from growing up in colder weather, you really want the option to be able to change layers throughout your ride. Instead of just having one insulated jacket to where you're stuck with it, you have some options to be able to change, for different temperatures and be able to feel comfortable no matter what.
All right, so let's move into maybe the next category here that we're gonna go over, which is kind of a newer age technology, really making a statement in the mountain bike scene, which is this Polartec, right? So, tell us a little bit about Polartec.
Yeah, so basically Polartec is just one of the brand names for shell technology. And basically what a shell is a waterproof membrane that still allows breathability. So basically this membrane has holes that are small enough for air to get through, but not for water. So the benefit of that with products like this specialized jacket and these Fox pants is that you just get a real lightweight package that still keeps you dry, but is gonna breathe pretty well. So you're not gonna have that sweat and moisture trapped on the inside.
I think immediately just on grabbing Polartec, say from, the Fox shell that we were going with that kind of that rain feel, is like, this feels like a really thin fleece almost. Like it's very soft, it's very malleable, like it's not that kind of, I don't know what I'm trying to say, like,
It doesn't feel like a plastic bag.
Yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't really kind of feel like, and not to say that that Fox wasn't that bad, 'cause I mean, there's some raincoats that feel like that's that almost rubber wetsuit material. This feels soft like a normal shirt, just a little bit thicker. So you're really gonna get that movement and that ability to feel like you're in a normal, mountain bike gear and have a good time out there on the bike. And I think with this new age stuff, like it's much lighter, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that breathability is really its focus to keep you dry and allow that heat and stuff to kind of, expel from the body.
Where the technology really comes in is pretty much anything can keep you dry. I mean, a plastic trash bag can keep you dry, but you're going to end up sweating. And even though it's keeping you dry from the outside, you're going to end up soaked either way once you start to get pedaling and get to moving. So this is really essential in just keeping that breathability, keeping you dry on the inside. And it's also super lightweight, so you're really not going to feel restricted at all. I mean, if I didn't know what this was, I wouldn't even assume that this is waterproof, but it's 100% waterproof.
Yep. And I think the cool thing about that is you could still grab that Fox thermal and throw that underneath that and be able to multi-layer with this and just have this be that outermost shell.
You definitely still have the option to layer, but if you're riding in a little bit warmer weather here, but it still happens to be wet, you're going to be able to wear this all day without taking stuff off, putting it on, going back and forth. This is something that, you're going to be able to wear all day and not have to worry about it.
All right, so next up, not everything's about a jacket shell or pants, but maybe you just are in a climate where it just gets really wet or something. Like, what are some of the other options we have here just to stay dry?
Yeah, so some of the other options that we have also are shorts. Maybe you live somewhere that's, kind of tropical or just warmer weather, but it still happens to be wet. You shouldn't have to sacrifice being dry and being cool. So something like these Trolley shorts, they still offer that shell protection from moisture, but you're gonna have that breathability of a short. We also have things like this rain beanie that's gonna keep your head warm, especially a lot of these helmets are really ventilated.
Yep.
You wanna keep your head dry. This is gonna be essential for that. And of course, gloves, because I think that's one of the biggest things when I'm on a ride. If my hands are cold and my hands are getting wet, that's just not a good time. So these are gonna be great for that. These offer that soft shell technology as well.
Yeah, I like those Fox ones too, because like there's some wet gloves I've felt before that just feel like you almost have like a full wetsuit on your fingers. You're not getting that, kind of tactile response for your brakes and stuff that you're used to when you're typically riding. But those still feel like you're in control and you're getting that good feeling when you're riding.
Yeah.
But keeping you not where you have like soggy mitts on.
That's probably the worst feeling ever is when you have soggy hands and you just don't feel comfortable.
Yep.
This is gonna keep you warm, it's gonna keep you dry. It has a nice cuff extended, so you're not going to have water dripping in through your arms nearly as much. I think the accessories are a great option to go with your typical rain jacket or pants.
And they make everything from waterproof socks and shoes and everything else out there, just to make sure you stay dry and have a good time so that cold weather doesn't have to stop you during the riding. You just have to adjust and still have a good time.
I think everything comes together to create, the whole package.
All right, so most importantly here, as we've gone over, Polartec and your typical rain shell technology is like just staying dry when you're out there riding. The last thing you want, like what happened to Alex, is get out there on a trip where you've been looking forward to, and it just feels miserable because you're soaking wet, you're soggy, and it's just something in the back of your mind the entire time versus just out having a good time. We've gone over two of these, pretty staple materials here when it comes to cold weather riding and maintaining, moisture and heat retention and that kind of thing. Both of them are a really strong choice. Whether you're going new age with Polartec or you're going like a 2.5 layer, rain shell, I think no matter what, being dry is most important.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing some more riding this winter, as opposed to previous winters. I might have shied away, but I'm looking forward to trying out some of this apparel and really getting out there and just enjoying the weather. Cold weather's already here, so I think it's about time to test it.
Yeah, let's get out of the studio and possibly get out there and put these in the elements. I mean, you're in Big Bear.
Yep.
It's getting cold up there already. We got some storms coming in, so maybe let's get out there and see how this works.
Yep, I've been definitely trying to actually get out and pedal, so let's keep pedaling.
I mean, and if maybe you wanted more information on other cold weather riding essentials or things like that, we did a video in the past where we break down some tips and tricks to keep you warm out there. So, make sure to check that out over here. And as always, here at Jenson USA, like we've already said before, but we truly mean it, keep pedaling.
Keep pedaling.
Keep pedaling.
Gagged on that.